What's the difference between feelings and thoughts?
Well, you can change your thoughts. So, it's a good question. So, a feeling is something you feel. It's come from the body. Suddenly, I've seen a snake, and I've seen a rat, and I feel repulsed. I remember seeing a rat in my house, and I felt, a rat, horrible. I mean, I could pick up a hamster. I could pick up a little gerbil. You know, I could hold a butterfly, or I could hold a ladybug. Because the picture is cute, but I wouldn't hold a cockroach or a dung-eating beetle. I wouldn't hold a moth. And so when you get a feeling, you've got a picture, and you feel scared. And the feeling is so instant that we think the feeling comes immediately. So a feeling, you have to talk yourself out of a feeling. Thoughts are also pretty instant, but you can change them very quickly. I'm going on a date, I feel terrified. No, actually I don't. I feel excited. I got a choice. Feel terrified, feel excited. You know, one of my clients was a very famous rock star, and he had to pay someone to push him on stage. So he'd get all ready, super excited. He's at LA Bowl or the O2. He's got the guitar, just about to go, and he thinks, oh my God, I can't do this. Because he's got the feeling of absolute fear. And so up comes a guy whose job it is to push him on stage, and he begins to do that, and then he feels great. But that feeling would have overwhelmed him if he hadn't decided, I'm just going to feel the feeling and carry on. So, you know, feelings, we think we're a victim of our feelings. We're not. You can choose to interpret a feeling. And thoughts, you have to make sense of them. But here's an interesting rule. Your thoughts control your feelings. Your feelings control your actions. And your actions control your events. Or you could say your thoughts dictate your feelings. Your feelings dictate your actions, and your actions dictate your events. So that actually says the thought comes first, even before the feeling.
Really?
The thought comes first. And then comes the feeling, and then comes the action. So all the laws go back to change your thoughts. We try to say, I'm going to change this. I feel so sad. I'm going to change that. I feel so lonely. I feel so unhappy. But actually, if you change your thinking, it will take care of the feeling.
You won't feel that way.
No. It's like if you go and watch a roller coaster, people are screaming. Are they screaming because they're terrified or happy? Who knows? But you get to choose what you think about that. It's a bit like, you know, I think I told you this story before about one of my clients who had breast cancer. And she said, well, I feel so lucky because I don't need a breast. I need a leg and an arm and an eye, but I don't need that. And sometimes with the strangest things that happen, if you can look back and go, oh, well, how I thought about that event affected me way more than the event. It's always how you think about it. Yeah.
The meaning behind it.
So we're taught that we can't change our feelings. Our feelings come upon us, and there's nothing we can do. But we're taught that our thoughts, well, maybe we can run those, but it's not true. You can change your feelings and your thoughts. And if you change your thoughts, you change your feelings. If you change your feelings, it doesn't change your thoughts. So a lot of people go, you know, I'm really nervous, so I'm going to like jump up and down and take some deep breaths and breathe into a brown paper bag because I heard that was good, and I'm doing all of that. So I'm controlling the feelings, but the thoughts come back. So let's say you said I'm terrified of birds or dogs, and if I saw one, I'd have a heart attack.
Right.
A little bird landing on my table, oh no, I don't even go to outside restaurants because a little bird, that would kill me, or dogs. I don't like cats. See, these are thoughts. Now, if you try to say to someone, look, but it's such a cute little dog, it's such a sweet little bird, it can't hurt you, because the feelings are going on. You believe that's not true. But when you change the thoughts, the feeling does go away completely, which is why, again, people can have a little pet gerbil and be terrified of a mouse. It's why you could eat lamb but not horse. I mean, I would never eat foal. I wouldn't eat donkey. I wouldn't eat pony. I wouldn't eat baby elephant. But I eat lamb. I don't eat lamb very often, but I'm not a vegan. I was for a long time, and a vegetarian. It's the thinking. So a vegan would go, I could never eat anything with a face. But the thought is there, and then they would feel sick if they ate anything with a face. So if I had a big lump of meat in my hand now, what do you think about that? Well, if you're a vegan, you think that's disgusting. That was a living, sentient creature. If you're a Hindu, you think that's so offensive. That's a sacred animal. If you're a bodybuilder, you go, great, protein. If you're starving, think protein. If I had a syringe in my hand right now, what is that? Well, if you're having a tattoo, it's very exciting. It's the way to get inked all over your arm. If you're in immense pain, that's fantastic. It's going to take the pain away. If you're a drug addict, that's like, oh, yes, I'm going to get off my face now. And if you're scared of needles, it's like, oh, I faint at the sight of needles. I can't even look at, I've got raging tooth. I'm not going to the dentist ever because I don't like needles. So it's not the needle, is it? It's not the lump of meat. It's what you think about it dictates what you feel about it. So you don't have a feeling about the meat or the needle. You have a thought, and the thought dictates the feeling.
Is this why hypnotherapy is so powerful? Because if people can't change their thoughts themselves, then you can
does it for them.
get them to a relaxed state to allow them to think differently and say, oh, it's not that bad.
It's really powerful. I mean, proper hypnotherapy, the kind I do, and all therapy is good, but proper hypnotherapy excites the imagination. It doesn't say every day in every way you're getting better. It says you are elated and excited and thrilled and turned on by going to the gym, and you love work, and then you come home and you choose to eat the right food, and then you work on your business plan and you're so excited, and the right ideas take root and develop, and you formulate something amazing, and you monetize a gift, and you're just so successful. Because the mind loves exciting words. The words must be in the present tense. They must make a picture. And they must be powerful and dramatic, and even better, have powerful words in front of the words. So I give my clients the words they've always wanted to hear. That's all I do really. Is the first time I'm like a detective and I'm gathering information. They come in, or maybe I'm online, or maybe I'm teaching other people. And the first thing you do is you're an investigator. A detective lays out pictures and goes, oh, look at that. Look at that. If I look at those, I understand what went wrong. So I'm a detective and I'm understanding what went wrong. And then straight away after that, all good hypnotherapists do this, particularly our TT, our rapid transformational therapists, investigate. They find an imprint. There's always an imprint, a scared child, an authority figure, and something that goes on. But then the next bit, which most therapists don't do, is you interpret that with your client. If you go, look, you do this because of that, they go, well, really? I went home and told my mum, that's rubbish. Of course you don't. I went home and told my husband, I don't think that's true, and now I'm doubting it. And I used to do that, go, okay, you do this because of that. And most people said yes. But when I got my clients to do it with me, let's work. Why do you think you did it? Go, well, now you've mentioned it, of course. When I was 4, these twin brothers came along, and I can see that I felt replaced, usurped. No longer, I lost my status. I didn't know who I was.
So it's allowing the patient to investigate as well.
Yeah, and then, so they investigate, find the imprint, interpret, but then you interrupt it. You completely smash that idea out the park. Yes, I know when you were 2, when you were born, you weighed 3 pounds, you nearly died, your parents fed you with a dropper. If you broke through, you might have cried hysterically and was on the phone to the doctor, and your dad would go, we've got to get this baby to eat, otherwise we're going to be back into the preemie ward. But now you're 42, you weigh 300 pounds,
Right.
You're not going to die anymore. So
Right.
you interrupt it, and you have to be funny and relevant and also quite tough. It's not a good enough reason to keep doing that. Going to all-you-can-eat buffets is not a challenge. If you're not supposed to eat as much as you possibly can because it's free, because there's no such thing as free. Take whatever you want and then pay for it. And when you eat all that food, they're losing it, but you're paying for it.
There's a price that you're paying.
Yeah. So after you've done the investigate, imprint, interrupt, then you do what I call the installing. So you go from being a detective to like a doctor who's extracting all the toxins. So then you become a coder, and you code in, and you wire it and fire in. Yeah. And the mind learns by repetition. The mind learns by repetition, and it only responds to words like a picture. If you go, I'm not bad, me. I have good days and bad days. I'm all right. No, you have to go, I am the greatest. Muhammad Ali said, I told myself I was the greatest. I didn't even know I was, but I said it, and then I became it. He could have gone, I'm not bad, me. Good days, bad days. Sometimes I'm all right, sometimes I'm good.
I will win. I am the best.
No one can beat me. He said that no one can beat me, which actually wasn't true. He was beaten, but he carried on saying it, and now we tend to think of him as the unbeaten Muhammad Ali, the person who never got it wrong. So when you meet people who say, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm amazing, we forget that some of those actors did movies that were dreadful. We forget that they did something
They lost a
wrong.
fight. Yeah, Conor McGregor's lost a few fights.
We just remember how good they were because they told us we were good. So the most important part of hypnotherapy are the two things. One is you must find the reason and remove it. And the second is you must put in really powerful, powerful, powerful words. And a lot of therapists
do it repetitively over and over.
Yeah, about a 12 to 15 minute long audio, but it's got to be really exciting. And
listen to it every day. Yeah.
21 days, if not every day. You can listen to it for 3 weeks, and then it's gone in, it's wired in, it's fired in. You can then, maybe a month later, you've got some important interview, play it again. But a lot of people don't understand. They either go to therapy and they understand why, but they still do it because they don't do the new installation, or they do the installation without finding out why. So they buy all these recordings. And I know they work because somebody said, oh, I bought your recording for examiners. And my kid, who was lying on the floor hysterical, just said, oh, I'm going to ace that exam. And she went in there and she did. So it does work. But when you do both, it works forever. And, therapy is such a strange thing. And I'm not anti any therapist, but there's no other profession where they go, bring me your pain and we'll talk about it. Nobody goes, hey, dentist, I got this terrible infection. Why don't you come in and we'll have a conversation about it every Wednesday at 3 o'clock? They go, I've got to get that infection out. No one says to their doctor, I think I've broken my arm. We can discuss that every week. How's the pain today? I don't know, I'm being facetious, but it's such a strange model. Let's discuss your pain every week until you get used to it, get to understand it, get familiar with it, or get past it. I'm like, why don't you just get past it straight away? Because if someone came to me and said, I have a chronic headaches, I wouldn't ever say, let me get rid of the headache today, right now. We use hypnosis, and we can certainly turn the pain right down, and then we can find out why you have it. But I would never say, well, let's discuss it. And so hypnotherapy is more powerful, I think, than any other therapy because it both removes the pain and removes the cause of the pain.
Yeah.
It takes away the pain and it takes away the cause. People say, but surely if you stop someone smoking, they bite their nails. You stop someone drinking, don't they go gambling?
They do something else,
No, if you do it properly, they never, ever do that because you take away the source of the pain and the pain. It's like you saying, I got weeds in my lawn, I mowed them, but 2 years later they came back. That's so weird. It's not really weird because you left the roots intact.
What's the main cause of most people smoking that keeps them addicted for so long? Is there a common theme?
Well, it's like everything, whether you're smoking, drinking, gambling, it's your belief. Like a lot of smokers, I can't go to the bathroom if I don't smoke. Well, what do they think non-smokers do? They go to the bathroom. They go, no. I can't relax if I don't smoke. I can't focus if I don't. So I can't digest a meal if I don't smoke. I mean, I've heard every single reason why people must smoke because, I worked with a famous writer and she said, I can't write without cigarettes. I'm like, is that where your talent lies? In a packet of Marlboro Lights? I didn't know that. I thought you were gifted. You just said, no, it's the Marlboro Lights. And she went, it's not the Marlboro Lights. I went, well, then stop telling yourself that it is. But it's the lies we tell ourselves. So smokers will say, I don't know what to do with my hands. Why don't you look at a non-smoker? Do what they do. Drinkers will say, I can't relax without a drink. I can't focus. I can't enjoy myself. Eaters will say, how could you live your life without chocolate? How could you enjoy your coffee without sugar? We lie to ourselves so much. And, I do opposite. Why don't you tell yourself a better lie? Why don't you go, I love my life without sugar. It's thrilling. It's not true. I know, but if you say it every day, you know what happens? It becomes true. Mm-hmm. No one was more of a chocoholic than me. No one ate more sugar than me. Yeah. Until I decided to stop poisoning my body and realize that it's a horrible thing. It doesn't mean it doesn't taste lovely.
It's almost like we're all hypnotizing ourselves every day throughout our whole life.
That's true. We are hypnotized every day.
Based on what we're saying to ourselves.
And also the media, who, by the way, if you put on a computer or drive to work, you are invited to eat rubbish food about 500 times a day. You put on an advert. There's no adverts for broccoli or yummy pears. They're adverts for fast food. I mean, I went to the Olympics in London. I took my godson.
I was there. I loved it.
And there were 3 sponsors: Cadbury's, McDonald's, and Coca-Cola. And you remember they were giving out. They had the purple trays. They were giving out Cadbury's, and I'm like, isn't that weird that chocolate is sponsoring the Olympics? But they have the money because they've made us believe that you can't have Valentine's Day without chocolate. You can't have Christmas without chocolate. How can you have Easter without Easter eggs? So we've got all of this stuff wired into our brain. It makes me happy. It makes me feel good. But you can unwire that. It's actually really, really easy.
If you're looking for more greatness in your life, make sure to check out this video right here. And also check out our free PDF, The 3 Secrets to Unlock the Power of Your Mind to help you change your life. Download it right here.
But if it goes through the lens of who I am as this past story, this limitation, this person that tried to achieve it and failed,